Hi, this is Dia Damson, and today we are going to do another Gogh, and we are going to paint his really cool painting of the cafe in France. So we are just gonna start with sketching and picking colors. I'm gonna simplify the sketch for you guys because on the end it's really about the brush strokes, not so much about the sketch. And if you like to find his sketch, it's available on Wikipedia. So go there, type in Van Gogh's cafe painting, and you are going to see the original painting plus the sketched version. You can save that. It's okay to save it and do it for yourselves. So all right, let's begin, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. The end of the cafe comes in the middle, so from here I can just do a little bit of a stretch out. So we have a simple shape of a trapezoid. This goes up, it goes a little bit over, so it's not super high. This one is a little low. We have the cover of the cafe going here, and then it's coming towards us, but we are under, so it's going to go a little higher but out. And I think my canvas is shorter, so I'm going to figure it out. What is the parts that I'm going to take away? Is the sky better to take away, or the bottom part? So I'm looking and I'm going to be like, let's bring everything down, because what I'm missing here is the pavement of the roads. So I'm going to just move it down by ½ an inch or approximately 1 centimeter, and nothing changes except the distance. Then this is going to come down. That is just a little bit out. It's another trapezoid and goes up here and then brings it down here. So do you see that another trapezoid here? So we have trapezoids all over the place because we're dealing with perspective. This part of the cafe is actually the wall of a really tall building. So this corner is just going to continue right on the top. So what are we having here? Almost like another trapezoid. Top building here, there is a window. So obviously we're taking, and this is going to go straight up. Roof comes a little out and goes in. So that line is going to be heavier. We have the wall, we have the roof sticking out a little and coming in an angle, so that's a little triangle created here. We have a rectangle for a window with a shadow, and we have blinds coming here open. And we are not going to see the whole blind because we cropped our image. So pretty much 2 trapezoids. Then we have even higher ones and they coming off. So if you decide to do a little bit longer, my area it's 8 by 10. So remember, a lot of times I do this, I create my own little canvas. But if we want to make it a little bit closer to the original, you're just gonna have to open yourself to maybe shorten the one side so you can have more elongated rectangle. But okay, so there's 2 cables here. One is coming high, connected. Another's coming a little bit low, connected. Then there is a window right above, and blinds are pretty much what it shows that there is a window. And what are we having? 2 trapezoids. We are having an opening of another building, and pretty much starts right here, goes all the way to almost this, but it's a little bit under, so I'm going to create at slight angles because now this is much closer to us. Now I'm guiding myself to the end of the canvas. Again, I am creating, this is a little lower, creating an angle, a 45 degree, that also 45 degrees. So I'm not going to paint this, skipping that part, but it is a cool doorway. So one of those days I am going to figure out an area that it will fit a little bit better into, and I think 11 by 14 might be a better version of or closer to his proportions. All right, so we have a building that it's far and it's pretty much facing, and that building is right here. There's another building that it's coming down and finishing. So I'm just looking, simplifying the shapes to, this is almost halfway, but remember I cut my halfway, so I'm bringing everything down. So I have to proportionately figure out, is my building right across from here, and kind of this. So I'm going to create the corner of that building goes all the way up, because from here what I have is buildings that go all the way to that part, and I'm gonna add a little bit of roofs, but I'm just simplifying my shape. This is here, the next building is a little bit, and obviously that is going to create a little bit less of an angle comparing that, because now this is much further away than this, and we're looking at more our level, eye level. Then what we're doing is creating those shops. So I have a rectangle. Now this rectangle is going to have a slight angle. There's a window. Bottom part of the window has a little bit of black, then the window has light in it. I'm going to add the rest of the lights later. There is a rectangle door, then there is few windows. I'm not going to bother with this right now because for me this was important, blocking out the area. So this building, let's say it finishes right here, there's another building, and I'm just going to pretend it's coming down. That, all that looks very much alike. Next building's wall, actually it's more pronounced. And what do we have? This is straight, leveled, but then this part is coming down. So there is straight down, across, angled, straight down. And we are creating the buildings. So do you see from my easy trapezoid, I start creating the elements of the building. Then there is a tower here, and I'm just gonna kind of mark it, and we're gonna work on the stars, because the stars is also the beautiful part of his starry nights. And I guess he loved going out at night or painting night scenes. Okay, so this is, made this a little bit smaller. So every time I'm sketching, I discover if something is not quite right and it gets fixed. So my first sketch will be a little bit rougher, and then little by little I narrow things down until they are looking great. There is more cables on the top and a grid and whatever else, but I'll leave it for now. Now I'm not gonna sketch the tables or the people because I want to deal with the main picture, and people just gonna fill in, the table's gonna fill in. There is a little light here, there is a little spot on this part, there is some iron looking things that are holding the top of that roof. So those elements will come later. Now what I'm gonna add here is my window across and 2 on the side. So the first is I'm gonna add 2 lines that are perpendicular, and then I'm gonna connect them on a slight angle going inwards. This one's gonna be a little bit taller, and I just figured it out that needs to be much smaller. So I'm gonna move this one here, smaller line, and another smaller line to make the, so if I connect these lines, they almost should be together. You see, if I connect them, they're almost together. Slight difference, but it's all good. All right, so we're ready to paint. All right, so what I'm gonna use for brushes, it's a round brush, angle brush. I just pulled a flat brush. I don't know if I'm gonna use that, and a smaller brush. So this is a 6, and this one is 5/8, and I am not sure what that is. I'm trying to see, I'm not sure. Let's pull something similar to that and read it. So this is a little bit bigger. That's a 10, that's probably an 8 or something like that. It doesn't look like an 8, it looks like probably like that's a 10 too, because this is a 6. I will probably use a round brush until I get to the details later. This will be to fill in a larger area, let's say the sky. So with Van Gogh, we need our brush strokes. We don't want to make anything smooth. So the more you touch the area, the better. So I am going to get a little bit of blue, and I'm gonna grab some white. I'm not gonna really mix it, I'm just trying the color, and I'm going to start. As soon as I start, I know if I'm going too light, too dark, but I'm okay having patchy sky. So now this seems a little bit too dark, so I have to go kind of in between. And I see a lot of lines that are going horizontal and also vertical. So I'm gonna be moving horizontal and vertical. A little water. Let's get a little bit of blue and continue with this. Okay. Don't worry about my little tower here. We can always add that. Filling in, so I'm not over mixing my colors. So when I am depositing them on my paper, they give me those streaks, and that helps big time. So obviously not going around the areas that the stars should be, because the stars are just a tiny little yellow dot with circular motion, little lines around it. The sky has also a little bit of a grayish look, so if you add a little bit of other colors in it, it will be okay. A little bit too much of other colors, but this is what happens. You just play around and create more and more elements. What am I paper I'm using? This is actually, okay, there it is. A little bit darker. I'm gonna go in when it's wet, and they're gonna start mixing nicely together. And you see how I'm switching from left to right. It's almost like creating a basket looking background, switching from left to right. Sometimes I'm going to use just the tip, create smaller lines. Some of the lines I want to be erased. So I'm gonna leave it as that. I like this color, makes me happy. The next part will be, without washing my brush, I'm gonna go straight to the black and actually add a little bit more blue to my brush. So it's gonna be blackish blue. I don't want to just do the blue, just black. I want to add some other color to it. A little bit of water. Go back in, get a little, whatever colors is there. I'm just grabbing it so it's a little bit lighter. So from our area that it's deeper inside the alley and it's a lot more shadow, bringing it slightly closer to us, we are going to transition to a lighter color. And this area is very close to our sky, and this one is even lighter and just makes us feel like we're closer. There's light here, there's light around this area, and the light from the coffee shop is spilling into the street. So I'm going to just continue filling it. Now from time to time, I'm going to take the black on the tip of my brush and I am going to emphasize on my line, separating my buildings a little bit, because that's what I see he has done. I'm going to add this black area. And remember, black is not black. Grab a little bit of green, a little bit of blue, so you can have those colors in your black. Not mixing them, just touch both with the brush, then go to your black and they will deposit on your canvas. I am due for new papers, watercolor and acrylic papers. Darker. And I can add a few stacks on top. I can add my tower here, which is another trapezoid, 3 lines, and half a circle on the top with a line. And then a few stacks. Pretty much it. Don't have to overthink it. A little bit lighter color here. We're gonna add the windows, the light coming out of some of the windows, just by, when this dries a little bit, just by adding a speck of yellow. Too light. This is the color where I want to be in this area, so I'm going to go a little bit darker blue. Make sure that I'm gradually moving, so testing my colors. And I'm sure I'm going to have to touch up a little bit the black lines later. Oh, there was a door here, so but that's okay. If we cover something, it's okay. It's just paint. We can always fix that. Darker on the top of those buildings. Just streaking it down and using water. Let's get a little bit darker color blue. And darker. Emphasizing on those lines on the top, buildings on the top for a deeper shadow. And let's get a little bit of lighter blue coming upwards. Brush is too dry, gently touching the water, so it helps me. And bit lighter. Those spots right here. Oops. Sorry about that. More blue coming from the top. Actually, too much blue, so we're gonna go a little darker. Okay, so now I have the alley kind of created. The windows are some are yellow, some are green, so I can deal with those two windows here. This side has a rectangle yellowish. I'm gonna get a little bit of ochre too. That's too much. Just so it looks more patchy, not so. And then this one here, it's yellow green. So I'm using a little bit of yellow together with my olive green. Little water. Okay, so I have the two rectangles. This one needs to be a little bit darker, so I'm grabbing a little bit of blue. Because blue and yellow, it's gonna give me that green. I'm moving my brush up and down. I don't want to delete too much of my lines. I want to leave them. So this side is much brighter. So whatever I have on the brush, I grab extra yellow to make it a little bit brighter than this rectangle here. It's representing our windows. This is going that way. Moving up and down. A little bit lighter spots. Then we have almost like an orange. So I'm gonna just get a little bit of this is cadmium yellow. And I have a feeling that I'm gonna have difficulty creating this, so I'm going to add a little bit of white. Grab my yellow, cadmium yellow, it's a little bit more orange. I'm gonna just touch the red, and I'm gonna add that door here. Later on, I'm gonna give a little bit more, and I'm gonna emphasize a little bit extra on my lines with a smaller brush. So since my brush is loaded with yellow and white, I'm going to find my windows. There is a tree happening right here, so I'm gonna leave that. First, second building, we have two lines right here. And this one is a little funny. Next one is right here. Two staggers. Two right here. Much further away, so slightly smaller, and two almost next to each other down the alley, and one lower. Alright, so we have two down here. This one is this side, this side. And this is pretty much our windows on this location. So we have a grayish blue. So what I need, black, white, and a little bit, actually, blue, white, and a little bit of black to create that grayish blue. So the white and the black will give me gray, and adding a little bit blue to it, it's going to give me that grayish blue. And it's very similar but not to the sky. A little bit more black in it, white. So I'm trying to create the color. And again, how am I gonna tell where the building is and where the sky? Everything will get an outline. So that's what he has, that's what we'll do. So remember, brush strokes, patchy work. This one is a little bit darker, so I'm gonna grab a little bit of the black on my, but I'm too close. So I'm gonna go back with the grayish blue, lighten it a little bit. I'm gonna just do a little patchy work here. Grab a little bit white. I am not mixing my colors because this building on the top is going to get that blue until we get to right here. So this part is going to get some of the blue and some of the yellow because now our light is going upwards. So there's a few lines here. Our shutters will be going in a different direction. So I'm adding this blue. It will get outlined with black and green. And that's pretty much how we're going to tell what is what. Outlining everything. This window is blue too. And I'm gonna go in and get that window and a little bit more of that bluish gray. Go a little darker. This window is a hole, so we want that a little darker. We are going to add the shadow later when we start outlining. Too big. And if there is any spots, we'll deal with that later. Now we're getting to the part where we're gonna move gently to the front. So we're gonna color the pavement. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna give it a wash, and my wash will be that grayish blue color, but super transparent. So if you see, I loaded a little bit on my brush, but then I add water. So it's not dripping, but it's diluted. And what I'm gonna do is take a little bit more. I am going to give it a wash. And if it gets too dark like here, just grab a little bit of water. And that's gonna help. Just give it a wash. There's gonna be tons of lines coming here. So what I want to do is make it easy by filling in the area with a color that's going to help me. I'm gonna get a little bit of purple in my blue. Just add it right here. So I'm not super worried. So we give it a pretty good wash, and later on I'm going to come in with more color and add until I'm happy with what I see. So we are going to start with the coffee shop. So yellow, it's mainly yellow, but there is a little bit of greenish hue in a couple of places. Cadmium is right here, so more light is coming from inside, darker. If you have issues with some of the lines are a little bit too much, erase them. I'm leaving them so you guys can see better, but a lot of times I'll almost make them invisible. So I'm gonna give my cadmium to all my entries. And if this door was here, I will be doing that because that door has a window too. Also, cadmium is spilled on the floor. So I'm gonna take more of the cadmium and kind of fill it in. And remember, a lot of the things will be outlined. So if I'm outlining this window with a little bit darker color, it's okay if I see some of the lines. Let's take this one away. Okay. Let's get a little bit of yellow and then get a little bit of the red. Barely take it off the brush. Create my side. Also, there is tons of lines, so I'm just going and adding a little bit of a tiny little line. And this area here also has lines. So they're coming towards me. Big yellow. And I'm switching between yellow and cadmium yellow, so lighter yellow and darker yellow. I can even add a little bit of white here just to create those lines. And even on his painting, this one is a little bit longer. No idea why, but we'll just follow that. I'm going to take a little bit of a darker blue and just add the shadow. Looking at his painting. Going back to the red. Adding lines. There's few lines on the floor. So by me holding my brush straight down towards the canvas and moving not my fingers but moving my wrist, it might create a little bit difficulty. So a lot of times I will move my whole hand and I'll do few runs before I touch the canvas, so I'm sure of how my hand is going, and then I'm going to go in and move my fingers. So pretty much you're pulling, and you can position yourself in a way that you know your hand is just moving up and down and you're not trying to go sideways, because then it's going to be a lot more difficult. My hand is on an angle, so I know I'm pulling this on an angle, but if I am coming to this side, I might have to turn my canvas this way, so I make it easy on me creating this faint lines. Then I'm going to fill in. So my faint lines are getting slightly covered again with the yellow, so that creates that lines that I see on his work. And I can do the same with the yellow, but it doesn't matter so much. So I didn't go all the way to the end because this part is really covered by a lot of tables. Now the bottom part of the wall is greenish, then it gets light yellow, and then greenish again. Very interesting. So I'm going to get blue, yellow, and a little bit of olive green and create some green. And that works. So I'm gonna give it a wash again. A little more blue, because I do see a little bit extra color right here. And gonna put that greenish, I'm gonna go on the end. There is my cross here. Lines, lines, lines. Not green here, but green right on the top part a little bit, and over. Horizontal lines. And this is beautiful blue. So we are going to create that. My allergies are so bad. Okay. Let's get a little light. Give our yellow a little bit of a lighter tone. Dip somewhere in the blue. It's okay. We have lines going in every direction, not every direction, going together with the wall sideways, so they're on an angle. But then we have lines going. And again, when I'm loading my brush, I'm kind of brushing only in one direction and twirling, so I'm loading the tip, and I'll be using mostly the tip of my brush. That's where it gets like repetitive, so I have a interesting, but this two are so much bigger than this on the side on his painting, so I'm just gonna follow. He probably got tired of doing. There's a line here. And this is the part where it's going to take us a while to do. Using a little bit of that purple here. outlining the door. Smaller lines, changing my blue with a little bit of the white, so it's not all the same. Getting that blue, lighter blue, and giving this line here, and also bringing that lighter blue into my building. So again, we're just moving from place to place when we create a color that makes sense. And I'm gonna add it right here, so the color is traveling around. And we're gonna go dark on this side. So I'm coming outside my canvas. So we're going to create the tables. So I'm going to start from far away. We have a line of tables. So we have one here, and it's just going to be little tiny spots of whitish blue. So one here, one next to it, a little bit larger, a little bit larger. Then we have one right here, and one that is actually off right here. So we have a bigger one right here, and it's sitting outside. We're gonna take a little white, go with the white. We have one that is here. We're gonna do a white table right here. And we're gonna place the smaller tables going all the way up to the end. And we have one that is kind of between those two. Yellow, but I'm gonna go a little patchy. The awning seems a little lines like maybe dripped water or something, so I'm gonna use a little bit of the ochre and create a few lines. Also, I feel like ochre is right here at this area. This part right here, I covered it with blue. It should not be blue, so I'm gonna fix it. That's how it goes. Creating lines and lines. I put my coffee right next to my water that I'm cleaning my brushes. And my brush is going to end up there. It has happened before, and it's really sad. So there is our line, dark line. Remember, there is two cables here on the wall, so one is kind of this level, and that one is down. Then the cables get connected to here. Very gently. And this one too. And we don't have to really connect it. That is, looking at his picture, it's really not connected. So we're safe leaving the way they are. Filling in, going back, and I did take a break because I was doing a Facebook live video, so I did take a break. So now everything is dried up, which can make it easier or harder, it depends. But at this point, it's okay. So I'm gonna clean some of the windows if they look like a little bit smudged up. I'm gonna level clean, so I'm using some of the black. There is stacks, the chimneys on top, so I'm adding that. A little bit more darkness here on this area. Actually, that should be darker orange right here. Did not load the brush very well, so I'm gonna have to swirl it around to create that point. And this is an old brush, so my tip is not perfect, but Gogh is good. We can do this. There, we're gonna create this little patchy, whatever that is here. A little bit green inside, so yellow and blue, or just grab green if you have, doesn't matter. Loaded my brush, but then I wiped it, so I'm super gentle. A little bit more green. I need just water on my brush and kind of add a little bit of the green streaks coming down. Also green is gone. With some green streaks right here. You can take a smaller brush, and I think smaller brush probably is better. Okay, so let's do that. If it's better, let's switch. Smaller brush it is. And we were working on the tables, and I let them rest so I can just touch up a little bit around, and now we can go back. So I have a chair here that we started kind of tracing it around, and I'm glad this is dry, and I'm glad that I'm using a smaller brush because my lines now will be much better. So we have a U shape, a line, another kind of a smaller U shape here, and two lines on this side. So one is here and one is here. Kind of like outlining a little bit. I'm gonna get a little green because it seems like there's green. So the back of the chair goes here, and this is kind of it. It is childish looking chair, and it's perfect because if we're not good about creating a perspective, this will work. It's gonna be safe. We're gonna be good. So Gogh is a fun person to try to paint because if you make a mistake, it's okay. It doesn't look bad. And so I'm gonna create this chair. Now we have chair on this table and next, but they get less and less pronounced. There is a chair on this side, so I'm gonna take yellow and white just so I can see it better because I'm yellow background with same yellow. It's just not really making it. And this chair is a little bit different shape, so that part on the back it's stretched out, and then it's a, and I'm not locating it the same way as his, and it's okay. Again, don't stress too much, just have fun with it, make it your own. A little bit of red with my yellow kind of makes it a bloody orange, and I'm going to add some of that for the legs. Even this leg is there. Now if I look at his chairs, they are so not perfect. It's awesome, it's beautiful, and I'm gonna use another palette because I poured so much paint in this. I can totally use it. I had another little painting tutorial for Facebook, and I'll show you what that was. It was a full leaf, so if you like to check that one out, just go on Damson Books on Facebook and you will see it. And also we do every Monday is a live tutorial, so that is a place where you can hit me with questions and hopefully I'll catch them, because if I'm painting sometimes I don't pay attention, or I pay attention after, but either way, that's it. So by us outlining those chairs makes them pop, otherwise they just will blend and you're not gonna see them. There's a chair right here which honestly I don't even see quite the shape, so we're gonna just pretend this is a chair here, and once we give it a little bit of a outline for, I see only back and two legs, pretty much that's it. And then there's another chair here, but everything gets less and less pronounced. So again, makes it easy for us. Getting the green, so I'm gonna put, let's get a little bit more green. Let's get green and blue. It will make it darker. It won't make it bluish green, but it will make it darker and will help. Now we can see the chairs a little bit better. Let's get a little bit, without washing my brush, I'm just getting a little bit of the raw umber with the green, because then I'm gonna be able to outline my table and give it some legs. If you go and look on in the internet, different paintings of Van Gogh, he actually has paintings that are not impressionistic, they are more realistic, and you're gonna see how the time has changed him, or he has changed with certain time, and it's very, very interesting to see it, almost like it's not even the same person. So I love to see that in artists, because then you know he's moving forward or moving in a different direction. He's experimenting, he's learning, he is not just stuck with the same thing again and again and again. So it was a really fun time for, I guess, a lot of artists. Now we have so many interesting things out there. So I'm giving a little bit of an outline, and also I'm going to create this chair that it's weird, but that's okay. And we need green legs, but this is it pretty much for that chair, and it's a little bit too dark, but that's okay too. Like I said, everything goes. So I made a little adjustments to the color. I made it a little bit brownish black, and I am touching up so I'm looking back and forth to see where does he have a little bit darker area. And since this color seems so perfect greenish, I'm just gonna add, it's blackish greenish, so it's not pure black, and I'm gonna add a little bit of that on my pavement, on my rocks, on my straight. And this is the part that it's gonna take you most of the time. So that and adding few figures, few shadows, and I'll show you how we can do that and make it easy. And it's just dealing slightly with proportions to make the people seem like people. And I'll show you. I'll find there's a guy standing here, and you can see it's a guy because it looks like two legs, a torso, and some sort of a head. But it's created in a way that it completely fakes a body of a human. So as long as we're creating the right impression, we'll be okay. So greenish for the rest of the chairs, and I am doing everything until I get to the crowd, to the people. So when I get to the crowd, I will probably put people and chairs kind of together, because there is somebody sitting on this table kind of on that side, two people actually, and there is also another chair on this side which is looking greenish too. Legs are spread, and this goes around. And then this one goes here. And the legs of the tables. So everything kind of gets in one point a little bit vague. It's not necessarily complete and finish. So you can do that. You can be vague about it. So I'm gonna take orange and create that chair here, which is kind of slightly under the table. And then the backing, there is another chair here. So I am back, and another chair, and another. I think I went wrong with this thing, so I'm gonna add a little bit of a window here. There we go. Let's get a little bit of orange for the legs. Also, let's see what legs are. A little bit greenish orange. This table has almost like a one leg. I'm not sure. It looks like it. There is feet underneath, or something that looks like feet. But it's all good. It's all good. So we have a really pronounced figurine right here, and almost nothing is hiding him. So for me to place him is going to make everything else kind of fall into place. He is right in the center, kind of in the just a little bit over the middle of our little coffee area, and he is wearing a whitish bluish robe looking thing or something long, and he looks like he has a darker hair. Could be making stuff up, but his hair is definitely darker. His face is yellow, so I am going to place him right here. So I have a long torso. There is, let's get more white. I might have to wait for this to dry. So there is my torso. Actually, he's coming much higher than that. He's a tall dude. His face, his hand, a line down and a cross. So he looks like he's holding something. Just by me adding on his head, his hair, and adding a yellow face. Let's add a little yellow face. And also he is holding something, and I'm gonna add that hand here. Also, I'm gonna add his legs. And it's a little bit So this is our first person, and from him everything else needs to fall in place. So if I see two shadowy figurines right here, so I have two spots for heads and a torso, which is just a little bit extended rectangle. So ovally, kind of circular for heads. Doesn't have to be exact. I know they are not passing over his head because they're sitting. He's the tallest person in the crowd. I have another figurine standing here by that door, and by looking at the figurine, it's a shorter person. So that person is coming half down the door, and I have an oval shape. Also, I have a torso, which will be a rectangle, and then a split of two rectangles, one going a little bit to one side and the other one going to the other side. Distort them. Now I know that my placing of this table was not in the right place, but that's okay. There is a person sitting here, so I am okay. Let's put a hand here, give him a little bit more of, because I used brownish, connect his parts, and he's just sitting there. That's it. Nothing special. Some of the people look like they have faces, but I see that he created shadows, so I'm going to have to kind of follow that. This person here, he is wide-shouldered, sitting on, assuming, a chair. I'm gonna take a little bit of white on my brush, create his face. His hair is dark, so I'm gonna get dark brown and just create a hair. Once he dries, I'll give him a little bit more of a slight outline. I don't even see feet under the table, so I'm gonna leave it the way it is. There is a darker dressed person right sitting on this table, so I am going to give it a torso. It looks like his arm is on the table, so I can do it backwards L shape. And I'm gonna give him a hair before I give him a face. So there is this. Now I do see legs underneath, so I'm gonna put his legs under the table. So this is it. That's it. That guy. Going back to this people here, I'm gonna just make little shadows underneath. There is two more sitting on this table. They do have semi-faces, so I'm gonna leave a little upside down J's for the hair. A little rectangles, almost squarish rectangles for the body. That's it. We're not going crazy on the people. They are kind of suggestions of bodies. The next one, they are getting a little bit lighter in color. So this was our darker dressed people. The rest of them is kind of the ochre, yellowish, orangey. So we can do ochre, yellow, and orange and create the rest of the crowd. I'm pretty much trying to count them, how many I created. One ochre, yellowish person, and then we have table over. There is two people on this table and one person on that table. So let's do that. I'm going to create again oval, kind of put shoulders on the person underneath. If my paint is too transparent, that's okay. I'll come back to it and do this and give it a little bit more, placing a person before another person. So torso, let's put this person here, and he is slightly shorter than that guy, so another torso. I do see some legs under the table, so we're just gonna create a few lines coming down because this guy also is orangey. There's green on him, so I'm gonna just create a torso. It could be a woman. We can make it up the way we want it. add a little bit over here, so we can add faces later. So pretty much I'm doing upside down J's, or it's a J because I'm leaving a short top and a longer side, like the hair is going down on those guys. So those farther guys, their faces are not that. The faces are little light spots. And this guy here, his face is yellow, so I'm gonna do yellow and white, a little bit of ochre, but it's going to be white. So I'm adding the ochre not to be like too yellow face. So I am adding this face, I'm adding this, also this face, already did that. So I have two people, two sitting farther away. The table's legs, I can kind of see things happening here, so I'm just gonna add a few elements. So forgiving, like don't stress about it, just have fun with this. It's adding things that I know they're not there, but that's okay, because again, I am painting it using him as an inspiration, but I am painting it. So if I change something, it's mine. It's then go by me. I am taking a little bit of green and just adding a little bit of that greenish hue. Some of the people have that. There is a really pronounced leg under that table, so I want to just make that L shape. There is the yellow guy in the center. So before I do yellow, I'm gonna do white. So he is walking, let's see, between the third table. So he's like right here, so between those two tables. So not the first, between the second and the third table. So what do we have? We have, let me get the water out. We have, like this, we have legs. Let me be precise. We have legs. It almost looks like one of them is bent a little bit. Then we have the torso, which is a longer rectangle. Now he looks like his one hand is bent. Either he's carrying something, or his jacket is on his back, or he's just bending his hand. So I'm gonna just bend the L shape here and then add a head. The other hand is down by him, so I'm going to add it down. So this spot right here will turn yellow, and it's gonna become our yellow guy. And also once that dries and I add a little bit more of the lines, and I'm going to do the same here, then all these people will become a little bit more of people. So there, I'll add a little bit of that. Some green tables, need a little more white. Okay, let's do that. That looks good. It just look a little bit too dark. I need water. Okay, this actually is fine because it makes them stand out a little bit better. And when I'm dealing with an element that it's obviously a circle, but from our perspective is an oval, I'll give the lines that I'm creating more of a C shapes, and that's gonna give me that feel of a C or oval or circle. So I'm going back in here and adding a little bit of the yellow or orange on my chairs and emphasizing. Oh, I forgot about this chair. Okay, let's give that chair some legs. Why not? And the perspective of his chairs are so incorrect. And guess what? Better for us. because if we don't do something quite right, it's still be okay. And I think I said this a lot of times. There's the chair, legs, seating. It's a little bit off. It's all good. Okay. I think there is a sketch for this painting. Let's see if I can share that on my Facebook. So if you're interested in the sketch, I know that there is a sketch. You can kind of take it from there. Alright, so this guy has a little bit of a highlight right here, just to make it look like, hey, this is my arm. Okay, so this one is facing now, if we create somebody that's facing us, we want the hair to go all around the head, both sides, so it's a U shape. But if we want to make it look like it's facing left or right, we want the direction that person is facing, that hair is going to stop, let's pretend forehead, and then go round down. So this person right here, hair is going down on the back, where the other person right on the front, the hair is going all around, facing each other. I'm gonna give them faces. Let's give them some lighter color faces. There is the face. Alright, so let's go to our yellow guy. And fill in the space. Yellow head, yellow arm, torso, legs. That's our yellow guy. Once he dries up and I give him the extra lines, he's gonna look more and more like a person. I need greens because there is a woman here for sure with a dress, and she's located kind of elbow. Her skirt is a big, let's say triangle, call it a triangle. Then she has a scarf over her shoulders, and then the rest is darker colors. So I'm going to get brown and green, and I'm using the olivey green with umber, and I'm gonna give her an arm right down here, and then fill in the rest. Also, her skirt looks like that's an apron because it looks like it's open on the back. So this shape, I'll bring it closer. Right here, we created a rectangle and then an L shape. A hand is just a straight down, and the scarf is another tiny little. So it's suggested shapes for a person. And again, don't stress about it. It's just pretend people. It's not real people. Well, maybe they were real, but in our case, they're just pretend people. So I give a little bit of yellow, so now she looks more like a person. Let her dry, I'll give her more, and she seems taller than this person here, even on the picture. Then she's walking, it looks like she's walking this way, and there is, honestly this looks to me like a police officer because his head looks like he has a helmet. So he is greenish brown, And we are going to get tons of green and not overmix it. And the person that it's walking, it looks like he's walking. I'm gonna start with his torso. He's almost the same size as her. Slightly down from her. So that's why I feel like they're going in opposite directions. So I'm gonna create his torso almost the same length. He has an arm. He has a leg that is going this way and it's coming a little bit down from her, and a leg that is coming from here across back. It is very obvious that the legs are crossing kind of like on an X because he's walking. And now I am going to wash my brush. I need the tip of it and get lighter green. And I am going to see if that's going to work and add a little bit. The highlights that he has placed will give me the illusion of where's the arm, where's the leg going. So on the front of the leg, I'm gonna create an outline. So this is a body. It honestly looks like I made the shape of a ribbon, like I made the shape of a ribbon. So this is my body, and this is the leg going behind, and this is the front leg. So this is gonna be my body. It's kind of funny, but that's exactly what it looks to me. Every time I look at shapes, I try to think of things that are easy for the mind to digest. Okay, so he has a face. That's always good. He has a face, and he has the same green hat. Kind of not cooperating right now, it's too wet, I'll leave it alone. There is a gal with a red dress right here, reddish brownish. So again, when I say what is it, it looks like a reddish brownish dress. That's the colors I'm going to mix. Let's put a little orangey so it's a reddish brownish. That's perfect. Orange, red, and brown made my women are super easy because you have just elongated. I will figure out where it's starting. She's starting right here. It's almost like a little bit lower. Then you have a longer rectangle, and then her head is different, and it looks like two hands on the side are coming kind of towards the middle. Once it dries, I'll give her more. Her head is darker, so I am going to just add a little bit of there. Once it dries, she's gonna get a little more shapes. I'm getting green. No idea what this is. It could be a human, it could be a horse, it could be so many things. So I'm just gonna add a shape here. Now, we should not forget our tree, which is right here. And our tree is gonna come and pretty much has little lines that are going on an angle sideways. So do you see how I'm moving around my canvas? So I am not done with the people, but I'm gonna let them dry so I can come back to it. This little thing, it's coming a little high here, and that's it. And I'm gonna add dark brown, dark green and light green. And if I don't have dark green, I will mix a little bit light green with my blue, and it's gonna give me what I need. And if I don't have light green, I will tone my dark green with a little bit of yellow to make it light. And I'm actually gonna do that right now. And if you don't have green at all, you mix yellow and blue, and it's going to give you a green. And I will post links to the materials that I'm using. I usually choose things that are efficient and on a good budget. Okay, so just adding a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm gonna go back to this area, and what I'm gonna do is get my lighter green with a little bit of ochre, and I'm going to do this little tiny sixes. So I'm gonna start from here, and they're laying downwards, and 6 and 6, and just dots continuing. So this is it. I'm leaving it that way. I'm gonna get a little bit of the orange with my dirty greenish brush, and the next part I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give that little decoration, so it's sitting on the wall, sticking out, and I'm comparing how far it's from the head of that person, and then a swirly. So I'm gonna go with the tip of my brush, not stressing about it because that's my first layer. Then there is another one here, which is actually to the left. It almost seems like a blue one, but it's not. So I'm gonna just wing it. There is the chandelier, and it's barely suggested because the chandelier is spreading light, so you cannot look at it. You cannot really see it very well. So that's why I feel like he made it so vague, and that's pretty much it. I made it even more pronounced. So I will take some of that away. So I'm gonna take some yellow, and I'm just going to too much the yellow, and I'm gonna take some of that away. There you go. So it's there, but it's not there. Alright, so more yellow and white. My palette looks so messy. I love it. Good. Let's add a little bit, paint those things tiny bit. Yellow and white. Going back to the hardest part. So this is tons of spots, and I'm just using my brush and just dabbing it up and down. This area is yellowish, so just dabbing, rolling my brush to load it, always loading my brush to load it, loading my brush by twirling it and pulling, so my side is nicely loaded, and then I'm just using it and twirling it again, so it's a lot of twirling here. Let a little bit of water and continue, because that the light is the light. The coffee spreading and making it so lively. But we don't want to make it one color, and the reason why I cover this up is it's just gonna make it so much easier for us to fill in the area with the rest of the colors, because there is a lot of fun colors here. Let's get a little bit of yellow with blue and white, and do this again. Repetition, repetition, fill in, fill the area in. Water. Going back with the black. Going back and just touching up. Giving my people a little bit more shadow and shape. Just touching gently and going back to my yellow guy. And now I'm going to give him his shape. There is that. So how do I know he's walking? You see this little ankle on the foot? This one's straight, this was angled. Let's give him a waist. And this arm is bent upwards. I will give him his face. Honestly, it looks like he's looking that direction. I'm gonna go back to this gal and give her her shape. Arm, back of her dress. This is going upwards. Then I'm gonna go to the police officer and give him his shape. And this leg is coming from here, kind of to the front, and this one is from the back. And then going to that lady far away, give her her hair. She is wearing something that is split, and that's kind of like my people. This horse looking thing here, I'm gonna give it a J and no idea, some lines. There is, I just noticed that there is actually 2 small tables right here, and there's 2 more people way back. So let's do this. Let's put another 2 tables, tiny tables, right here. Cover this guy. We can't cover this guy. So we're gonna take this orangey color. Make it lighter. I'm running out of space to mix, but that's okay. And put the person here. And another person on this table. They're not super pronounced. Honestly, I see them as spots. So I'm gonna let them dry and give them a little bit more shape later. Going back to my tables, and I'm just going to give everything a little bit more of a there is this green chair here, legs on the chair, the person that is sitting here. This one, let's make it lighter. If I mix a color that it's just being introduced, I'm just gonna add a few places, not to stand out too much, but to blend together with everything. Let's give a little bit of a highlight to the horse. It does look like a horse to me, but I could be wrong. This is dry, I'm going to give a little bit more of a pronounced lines, and that's going to help with what I'm doing. That's that guy. The lady's green a little bit too. This guy's arm, I little greenish. This person here, it's a little, top is green. And I think we can be pretty close to being done. So the only area I'm trying to fix is that, and I'm going to add the our stars. So I have 1 star, 2, going down that purple here, even though it's present. Less is more. I'm outside the canvas here, so I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, so let's see. Our window's good. Nope, missing parts. So this is where I'm gonna start just checking around to see if I'm missing something, if I need to emphasize, and go around. All right, so this is our Van Gogh Terrasse de Café, and this is pretty much gonna be kind of our version of Van Gogh. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, or you'd like me to paint something, please let me know in the descriptions below, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you like it, give us thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.